Week's main news. Azadlık newspaper group not allowed in Azerbaijan publishing house. 4 lawsuits against KHURAL newspaper and editor-in-chief. NGO coalition on public control against torture created. Children of imprisoned post mayor demand releasing of their father. General prosecutors obstacles control of incident that took place in Göçay. Civil society appeals to president.
Azadlık editor-in-chief Ganimat Zahid told Objective TV that on August 2nd, the employees of the Azadlık newspaper were not allowed to enter Azerbaijan Publishing House. According to Zahid, the publishing house guards did not allow employees to enter. The guards said that the reason the employees were not allowed to enter was because of the debt Azadlık owed the publishing house. Zahid added that although he tried to meet with the publishing house director, Agabey Askerov, he was told that Askerov didn't have time to meet with him. Azadlık newspaper should have paid 15,000 AZN to the publishing house. When they heard that means were being given to the newspaper because of the 135th anniversary of national press, they took the step to take money from us. I did not object to pay our debt with this money, but we did not receive any money, said Ganimat Zahid. He added that he will appeal to the president and ask him to transfer the money that was given to the newspaper into Agabey Askerov's accounts. Although Objective TV wanted to learn the opinion of Agabey Askerov regarding this issue, the publishing house guards did not allow Objective TV's recording group to enter the publishing house. Azadlık newspaper has been operating since 1989 and is published as a daily newspaper. On August 3rd, in the press center of the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety, KHURAL newspaper editor-in-chief Avad Zeynallah conducted a press conference regarding the lawsuits filed against KHURAL newspaper. 4 lawsuits have been filed against KHURAL newspaper and its editor-in-chief in the past 2 months. Presidential Administration head Ramiz Mehdiev filed a lawsuit against Zeynallah regarding the article Ramiz Mehdiev's Plan Against Bakhtiar Vahabzadeh, which was published in KHURAL newspaper on May 23, 2010. Yeni Musavat newspaper editor-in-chief Rauf Arifoglu filed a lawsuit against Zeynallah regarding Zeynallah's interview that was published in Milliyetim newspaper on June 8 in the article Who Beat Mehraj Babiev, which was published in KHURAL newspapers 6th through the 12th of December 2009 issue. The State Support Fund to Mass Media under President head Bugar Seferli filed a lawsuit against Zeynallah regarding the article Ilham Aliyev is not the president of KHURAL, that was published in the 25th to the 31st of July 2010 issue. One of Rauf Arifoglu's lawsuits is a criminal case or a special format lawsuit, and Arifoglu demands Zeynallah's arrest. The goal of these prosecutions is to terminate KHURAL newspaper's publication. If the President Administration head Ramiz Mehdiev, the editor-in-chief of a newspaper that has a large circulation, Rauf Arifoglu, and the State Support Fund to Mass Media head Bugar Seferli all stand behind these charges, I could be arrested. The most interesting thing is that Rauf Arifoglu has already demanded my arrest in the special format lawsuit he filed, said Avad Zeynallah. Today, a civil society group announced that a coalition on the prevention of torture in prison was created. The NGO's public control was established by 6 public unions in the framework of the National Prevention Mechanism. The coalition is open to all NGOs that are engaged in legal defense work. Organization coordinator and Azerbaijan Committee Against Torture head Elchin Bahburov pointed out that Baku joined the UN Optional Protocol Convention Against Torture and Inhumane Treatment. The implementation functions of the National Preventative Mechanism were assigned to the Ombudsman Administration by order of the President of Azerbaijan on the 13th of January 2010. According to Bahburov, the Commissioner Office on Human Rights created a division consisting of 17 people. However, civil society representatives were not included. According to Democratic Institutions and Human Rights Organization head Elchin Abdullayev, the coalition intends to conduct monitoring in prisons to observe international norms in the human rights sector, carry out a public control assessment of the implementation of the National Preventative Mechanism's functions by the Ombudsman Administration, prepare alternative reports, prepare proposals on the improvement of legislation, and develop international relations. Bahburov pointed out that complaints regarding torture have increased. Although there were 140 complaints in 2009, there have already been 110 complaints during the first half of 2010. 6 facts about death cases as a result of torture were noted last year. This same indicator includes suicides as noted this year. The coalition is made up of Azerbaijan Committee Against Torture, Democratic Institution and Human Rights Organization, Center for Rehabilitation and Defense of Victims of Torture, the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety, and the Center for Equal Opportunities Legal Enlightenment Society.
Ona sataşırdı. Atamız Emin Əhməd bəy onun ailəmizin şərəf növbəti.
Rəhbərlik dənsiz, sənə deyir, sevmir. Xoşuma gəlmir. Rafik mənim deyir ki, sən bu işi qutarasın.
Ama имя, фамилия начальника знаете?
Полицейская машина, впереди и за рулем сидел один и рядом. Они
Gəldiyi, tapşırıq verdi ki, ondan sonra mən onun işini deyirdim.
За что? Пусть докажут одну его вину и ответят детям, что вот за это твоего отца paymalı.
Məhkəməsi müraciət edib, yəni Azərbaycanın necə yəni daxili işlər nazirində polis və buna başlayıblar qara siyahıya salırlar torba kimi.
Вместе компьютер вы не были, да? Непосредственно не были.
Не, я не была.
Она же в школу зашла.
Я вышла.
Когда что-то подал заявление, да, в суд, вас кто-то угрожал, как-то на него давили.
Bunun sənədlərini alıb, güclə alıb, bu verib ona. Sonra bu sən gidib Həsən Şirinova, o dövrdə Həsən Şirinovların rəisi idi, qaynın.
On August 6th, in the press center of the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety, human rights defender Vidadgi Iskandarov conducted a press conference. He accused the Azerbaijan Republic General Prosecutor Zakir Garalov and Ministry of Health Court Medical Examination and Pathology Anatomy Association Director Zakir Musayev of corruption and ignorance about illegal actions of his employees. According to Vidadi Iskandarov, a meeting was held in the General Prosecutor's office with the participation of Garalov and Musayev. Garalov gave instructions to not solve cases regarding the demand for bribery from the relatives of deceased citizens. As an example, he cited the incident that happened in the Goychay region. According to Goychay region resident Nariman Agayev, his daughter Zumrud had suffered from thrombosis since birth and died when she was 17. She was registered at the central hospital. His daughter died when, on 20th of November of last year, as a result of heart failure. Goychay Regional Prosecutor's Office investigator Avandul Babayev ordered the girl's body to be taken to the medical examination center. Babayev ignored the request of the girl's parents. He kept the body at the medical examination center for 3 days, which is contradictory to the law. After Babayev received 800 AZN, and the medical examination and Department of Pathology Anatomy expert Aga Mirzayev received 200 AZN, Babayev took the body of his daughter and buried it, said human rights defender Vidadi Iskandarov. According to Iskandarov, an exhumation of the corpse was arranged only after the prosecutor general had received multiple complaints regarding bribery. Upon seeing the exhumed body, it was obvious that Avandul Babayev did not carry out an autopsy on the body during the 20th through the 22nd of November last year. This proves that the body was kept there for the sole purpose of receiving money. KHURAL Civil Society has appealed to the President of Azerbaijan Republic, Ilham Aliyev. The appeal stated, according to official explanations, at the end of April, 110,000 hectares of land and more than 20,000 houses remain underwater as a result of the flooding of the Kur River. If we consider that an Azerbaijani family consists of approximately 4 people, this means that about 100,000 people suffered due to the flood, more than 8,000 people were deprived of their houses, and that those houses were completely destroyed. Additionally, farms that were flooded will not have the harvest this year, and this means that those farmers and their families will have no means to survive. Representatives of mass media and non-governmental organizations created the KHURAL Civil Society headquarters in May. It consists of economists, ecologists, and journalists. During our visit to the disaster zone, we witnessed the suffering of people who were deprived of everything. During our conversations with them, we assured them that the government will provide effective and adequate assistance so that they are able to return to the life they had before the floods. We believe that the government adopted the right decision when it refused the idea to transfer people to different places and decided instead to restore their agriculture. However, we are concerned about the compensation that was planned to be given to the people affected by the floods. The criteria and methodologies used to determine the damage and to pay for that damage are unknown to us and the public. However, what is known is that these people are only being offered 200 to 300 AZN for the restoration of their real property. According to our evaluation, this is an unacceptable amount because the financial losses of an uncultivated harvest in both the short and long term have not been calculated. It must be noted that in a village, a harvest is a main source for the villagers' livelihood. We believe that it is necessary to estimate these damages as well and give compensation based on scientific methodology and international norms. Citizens affected by the disaster look to the government. We ask you to take the necessary measures to solve these problems. We also request that you give instructions to allow the civil sector to participate in state projects aimed at eliminating the results of natural disasters and preventing new emergency cases in the KHURAL zone. We are ready to do our best to help in this issue.